Okay, so now let's go ahead and take this number, 706 and 68 hundredths, divided by 78. Now, just so you know, you can have a decimal in your dividend. We call this number the dividend, but you cannot have a decimal in your divisor. This always has to be a whole number. So when that happens, we'll show you how to do that in another video. So the decimal is just going to go straight up, okay? It's going to remain exactly where it's at once you get done, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be dividing first. Then we will be multiplying by 78. Now that's really important because we are going to use estimation to help us get close to the right number, but we are always going to multiply by the 78, not the estimated number. We're going to subtract, bring down, and repeat till we complete. So this number here, 78, is close to the number 80. So we are going to use 80 as our estimated number to help us get close to the right number, okay? So let me show you what I mean. We're going to count by 80s. Actually, we could count by 8s. So we could count by 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, and 80. Now, in order to count by 80s, I could just simply go 80, 160, 240, 320, 400, 480, 560, 640, 720, and 800. So you simply add zeros to all those. So do it whichever way works best for you. So this is going to help us identify which number we think is going to go into our larger number, okay? So right off the bat, we know that 78 or even 80 do not go into 7. So we could say, okay, that does not go into 7. So then we check 70. Does 78 go into 70? It doesn't go into 70. 70 is too small. So we're going to say 0 times again. So we're going to go all the way over to the 6, and we're going to actually decide how many times will 78 go into 706. So for that, I'm going to use my chart. So I'm going to come over here, and I know that 706 will come in between these two numbers. So we can assume that it's going to go about 640 will be our answer once we multiply. So we're going to say times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, times 6, times 7, times 8. So we think that 78 will go 8 times. So I'm not going to put my 8 yet there because I want to make sure. So I'm going to multiply 78 times 8. I'm not going to use 80. This is just to help me get an idea so I don't have so much guessing and checking to do. So 8 times 8 is going to be 64. Carry the 6. 8 times 7 is going to be 56, plus 6 is going to be 62. So I can see that it goes 624 times. So let's check and make sure that it actually is going to work. So I'm going to put my 624 here. All right, so we have 6 minus 4 is going to be 2. Borrow. And that's going to become a 6. 10 minus 2 is going to be 8. Oh, look, I could have gone one more time. So we didn't write our number up there because it looks like we could have gone one more time. So I'm going to erase this work here because 82 was too big. Okay, so now if 8 was too small, we need to go up one more. Now I'm not going to erase this because I might be able to use this for another problem or for later in the problem. So let's now do 78 times 9. So that should work. So that's the thing about estimating is, or even guessing and checking, you might not always get it right the first time, but you're going to be close enough to know what the actual number is going to be. So let's take 9 times 8, which is 72. We want to carry our 7. Then we take 9 times 7, which is 63, plus 7 is going to be 700. And look at that right there. 702 is perfect. We know that 702 is going to fit, and we will be able to subtract. So we know this is going to be 9 after all. All right, so I'm going to leave both of these because, again, I might need these later. So now let's go ahead and subtract. So we have 6 minus 2 is going to be 4. 0 minus 0 is still going to be 0. I don't actually need to borrow after all. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, and then 7 minus 0 is also 0. Now, these zeros are optional. You don't need to put those there. If you do, that's fine. Okay, now we can bring down the next digit. So we bring down the 6, and that is too small. 78 will not go into 46. So a couple of things you can do here. Some students like to put the 0 here. They want to say 0 times 78 is 0. And they actually want to subtract because those are the rules. Or you can actually skip that and just bring the 8 straight down. Okay? Okay, so you could have just brought the 8 straight down. So either way is acceptable. Okay? So now let's see how many times 78 will likely go into 468. So looking at our chart here, it's going to come right here. So I've got two options. I know it's going to be times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5. Or it could be times 6. So this would be times 5. And that's pretty small. I mean, and this one, it's actually closer to this one. So it might be times 6. So really up to you which one you want to try first. I'm going to go ahead and try the 5 first. And if that doesn't work, then I know I'll try the 6. So let's go ahead and do 78 times 5. So 78 times 5, we've got 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 4 is 39. Okay, that looks a little small, like 390, I think I have enough. I think I might be able to go one more time. So let's try 6. So let's do 78 times 6. All right, so 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 7 is going to be 42. Plus 4 is going to be 46. And that's going to work perfectly up here. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is going to go 6 times, not 5. And when we subtract, we get a perfect number here. Okay? So the last thing I need to do is go ahead and put my decimal here. And we would say our final answer is 9 6/10. So that is how you can use estimation when you're dividing to get close so you don't have as many guess and check